I'm Dylan, and I'm doing the politics.
Hi, I'm Chris, and I'm doing economics.
Hello, I'm Alex, and I'm doing scientific.
Hi, I'm Cameron, and I'm focusing on the environment.
I'm Ethan, and I'm doing education.
And we are doing mass extinction!
Another endangered species gone down the drain. This is mass extinction's true example. If we don't act upon this, more species will be wiped out from the planet Earth. Our plan is to get a zoo and start making money with it, but based off the people that visit. And with the money, we can start saving more endangered species.
That is just horrible. Here's why. According to the IUCN Red List, over 40,000 species are endangered as of today, and the extinction rate is 1 to 10,000 times higher. That is because overfishing, poaching, and human activity. This is awful.
I agree.
This is an example of poaching. The result of this poacher was he or she took a valuable item from a dead rhino. Now what poaching is essentially killing an endangered animal to obtain a special resource, such as poachers kill elephants in order to take tusks. And a tusk is very valuable, which can be sold for a big amount of value to other buyers. Now, here is why poachers have such a hard decision, because on one hand, it's immoral and you're killing endangered species, but in the other hand, they need to do it to feed their family and obtain other resources such as medicine, money, to maybe escape the harsh circumstances they live in. Now, this is really bad because it limits biodiversity. What biodiversity is in a certain region where diversity is spread amount with other birds, squirrels, and other kinds of animals. Now, one animal goes dead and everything tumbles down, such as the food chain. If you take one animal away from the food chain, everything else will crumble. Now, this is why poaching is especially bad for the environment, especially in Madagascar. Another example of why mass extinction is at such a high rate is from overfishing. Now, some fishes may not even be endangered in the first place, but the reason why it's causing mass extinction is because it limits biodiversity. Now imagine if you're on a food chain and there's a really big population of unendangered fishes, but then there's a population of endangered fishes. Say the prey, which is the unendangered species, gets taken away, then the endangered species will have no prey, therefore will soon starve to death. Now this is so crucial because it limits biodiversity and will kill our ecosystem one step at a time. We need to say no to this and stop eating endangered fishes or fishes related to. Hey guys, we need to spread the education of mass extinction and why overpopulation, human activity, overfishing, and poaching affects our biodiversity, which later changes mass extinction levels into becoming higher and a greater chance. Now we need to spread this through websites and through third world countries. How are we going to do this, you may ask? We have diplomats talking to their governments to attempt to form a temporary government or organization to stop and spread awareness. So we need to, one step at a time, we need to spread the word and stop mass extinction.
This is why we should stop poaching.
90% of all species in the world since the beginning of time have gone extinct. In the past 100 years, 500 species have gone extinct. In the future, 30 to 50% of species will go extinct. These are big numbers. If we are not careful, we will be the next species to go extinct. Scientists have narrowed down mass extinction to several main causes. Those are man-made, which are climate change and climate cooling. These are getting worse as the years are going by. One of the perhaps the most intriguing piece of evidence that I have found is that the fact of our close relatives, the primates are severely endangered. About 90% of primates, the group that contains monkeys, lemurs, lords, galagos, transfers, and apes. We are also in this category, which means we are also endangered of these factors. Increased demands for water and damming of rivers are the main cause for fish. Many people are dumping the accumulation of various pollutants, and invasive species make aquatic systems almost impossible to live in. No group of animal has a higher rate of endangerment than amphibians. Scientists estimate that a third or more of all roughly 6,300 known species of amphibians are at risk.
This global warming is serious, guys.
Oh my god.
Are a huge part of mass extinction because we are taking up their resources, we are taking up their land, and we are not contributing by global warming. 2019, we are at 7 billion people. Government has predicted by 2050, we will be overpopulating the world with almost 10 billion humans. That's a shit ton of people. So, going at this rate, we're gonna get there sooner than expected. Taking up their resources, their land, and global warming is affecting their lifestyle. Madagascar government has tried to prevent this by taking 3% to 10% of all their cars and stuff, and they're like putting them aside, so no more global warming is happening. Other ways we can help prevent mass extinction is being wary of where we put things. Like, for instance, if for plastic bottles, we put them in like recycling stuff. The Madagascar government is making laws against poaching. So if you get caught poaching on Madagascar land, you will be sentenced to death. By bringing ships over to the Madagascar, we are bringing invasive species, killing animals such as the bamboo lemur. The bamboo lemur is a very cool species. We love it. It's trying to raise protected areas from 3% to 10%. That's a pretty big jump. There is not a lot of protected areas in Madagascar because it is very wildernessly. Scientists have figured out that by bringing ships to Madagascar, we are bringing invasive species. The government is trying to fight this by saying before ships clear the docking area, they must be thoroughly checked to make sure that no invasive species have invaded the island.
Roar.
Wait.
It is impossible to get all of the animals in Madagascar to a zoo. We're gonna get the most fascinating and interesting animals into the zoo so people would like to spend money on our own zoo. Six of the San Diego Zoo, they gain around 30 million a year and spend around $50,000 on their zoo to build. So from this graph, it could show that they would gain around 29 million in around 12 months. Which is really good because most of that money would go to the workers and most of the things on the zoo. Well, our zoo, if we had the same statistics, our zoo would get most of the money to the environment, poaching, overfishing, and overlodging. But even if we lowered those statistics down to the zoo costing $1 million to build, and we would only get around 20 million a year, we would still have a lot of money left for the environment because we would spend around 5 million on the workers, a couple million on the overlodging, a couple million on the fishing, and a couple million on the poachers, and we would still have a lot of money for the environment, and years later we would still have enough money to fix the environment.